Hey everyone, I know it's been a while since I've done a video with Farshad, but look, some pretty exciting news, visible gold as well as some other stuff. First things first, Farshad, how are you?
Hi, Jason. Thank you for having me again.
Let's hop into it. The exciting stuff first, obviously visible gold, but a lot of questions in the group. People are asking, about the word abandoned. I know we were chatting a little bit off camera. Do you want to kind of explain to the people, what you mean by abandoned? And in many cases, people associate abandonment with bad, but obviously, you guys drilled a pretty deep hole, and would love for you to kind of give some insight.
Abandon is in opposed to continuing, and that's what it means on that setting. So we did drill the first one 35. We went into a fault. When it gets to a certain fault, continuing the drill is just not right way of doing that because the drill hole will follow the fault and we will miss all the opportunity. And faults are always good, really good, and they're a part of the system that we are in. If we don't have faults, if we don't have those kind of a system to carry the mineralization into the system, we are not in a good place. So we stopped, a better word for it, continuing the 495 meters of drill 35. But I certainly believe that we had to go down into the system. That's why we did the drill hole 36. And I needed to cover more ground. That's why we gave it a good rotation, good direction to drill. At the end of it, we didn't think that the fault is going to come towards this drill, but it did come at 968. We ran into it, we drilled towards it. Then we found out we're going to fall into the fault. I received a call from the driller and they said, hey, listen, there's a risk of losing rods, so we better stop it. When I received it at that point, the cost is really high. I said, okay, we're gonna do another hole, which I was ready to move it 50, 60 meters to 100 meters towards the west and do it right to the center of it. Now, sort of going sub-perpendicular to the fault so we can go through it. But I found out like we can do it. We have that option. So let's wait and go to the next hole. So that's why we decided to do that. About the visible gold. Visible gold was the highlight and the title of this news. It's very significant, very important. In a porphyry to see visible gold, and this is the first time we've seen it, that's very, very significant. And I'm hoping we're going to come up with more of that. We haven't logged throughout the hole to see what else we have, but I'm very, very pleased with both this drill hole that they gave us a wider zone about 125 meters away from the other hole at the bottom, and they gave us good visual, strong mineralization. We have proven in this deposit that definitely we have chalcopyrite. Now we have visible gold, and we have more or less with some possibilities, but I believe it. The other geologists, they have to prove it, that we have chalcocite. The chalcocite has more copper in it than chalcopyrite. It's how the mineralization is. I'm very pleased with it. I am very now bullish to go on this again and go to 1,500 meters. That's the dream, and I will put it in there.
Just not this time, but we were chatting before we hit the recording. Do you feel like this is the best news release Doubleview has ever had?
Doubleview, this was the best news release we've had ever to show visible gold. If you look at even gold companies that they are drilling into veins of gold, they rarely come up with this kind of news. This was exceptional. I'm very pleased with that.
Yeah. No, cool. Again, I know there's people were expecting, a 1500 meter, a hole. Obviously, you kind of let people know you hit faults, but faults are good. You're able to see mineralization, and that's how you know you're in the system. Is there anything else you wanted to touch on for the people that they were expecting this 1500 meter hole? Look, 972, I think, is still amazing. Do you want to kind of talk on that in a bit?
Sure. Don't forget, our investors should think about that too. The contest is not the length of the hole. The contest is what we can see as far as the mineralization goes inside the hole. That's what is important to me. I tell you about the length of the hole. There were two options that I would have stopped the drilling. One, what happened to us? We go into a fault. It's not passable or not wise to do that. We follow the fault and we come into all fault and nothing else. Or the other option would have been if the mineralization was ended, we would have stopped it. If the mineralization stopped at 500 meters, I never would have gone to 972. The contest is mineralization. That's what we want to prove. The strength of gold, copper. Now we know gold is there. At least we've seen it. Hopefully soon enough, I'd like to announce the results of what we're getting. And all the assays are, majority of the assays are in the lab. And the last bunch is going to the lab in the next few days. Hopefully we can get those and announce them, as they come out.
Yeah, just curious for people I know they're going to ask, what's the expected timeline with labs? I know labs are still backed up. Have you been given a guesstimate at least, a couple weeks, couple months?
Oh no, that's good you ask. Okay, it's not more than a month. Okay, it's around that level. They have been busy. We're trying to, find other labs that they can do it faster. But so far, the lab that we've dealt with, at least we are in the queue. I don't want to move them out of there and go to another queue and be later. So yes, that's normal for everyone. Is normal the same?
Cool. And curious, for people, like myself, who aren't mining gods by any means, you say you still have a dream and a goal really of getting to that 1500 meter hole. How would you plan to go through the fault in the future? How does it work?
Oh, good. Yes. When the fault was here, if you look at this, first we thought the fault is like that. So we drilled, we fell into it. We stopped it. We thought the fault is like this. Then we tried to go with the fault towards the west, going away from it at least. But fault, we found out this is like this. The fault, now we know the orientation of this fault. Now, if I go to this location and start drilling from here, hopefully when I arrive at the fault, I go through it this way. I don't fall into it to go the wrong direction. So that's how you have to fight it. It's not the machine problem. It's not our expertise. Drillers are one of the best ones. They tried hardest to get into it, and that's what I want to do. I have to step out and drill it from the other location between 31 and 34. Drill it in this location to go trying to be perpendicular to the fault.
Got it. Oh, cool. Makes sense. Obviously you're trying to hit it, come in at an angle like this so you can go through it. So it makes sense.
Yes.
Curious for people, that are watching this. Do you just want to say, maybe the distance away from, where you were planning hole 35, how far away hole 36 was?
Hole 36 was about 10 degrees off, and at the bottom of it, when look at the bottom to the bottom, they were 125 meters apart.
Okay.
So we covered more ground, as we call it, covered more of the volume. That's what I like to do because at the end, at some point, we got to come up with the resource calculation. At least we can put it out in the market. But what I will do in the next round going at this system. This is a very large system, so we've got enough room to move around with this. I'm going to put a series of one, two, three holes into the system from the same setting, but I'm waiting for the assays to come out so I can plan on it.
Cool. And I saw people in the group, and I got to ask, they're saying, "Oh, are we drilling more holes?" You announced that these two got to where they got to. People are asking, "Oh, can we expect more holes done before Christmas?"
Oh, absolutely. We're not done. And, some, of course, the drillers love to drill, to stay there. Camp is cozy, really, in spite of the weather. We have a camp that, yes, it's minus 10, 15 all the time, and snow is tolerable. We got equipment. I text you one of the equipment, just recently we put it on those tracks. They are hunky dory. They can do the job. But I want to give them a break before Christmas, just before Christmas, and then come back at it as soon as we can. In the meantime, every day that we are passing through right now, I send supplies and equipment up there. So when we come back, everything is ready just to go in a day we start drilling. So
Cool.
that post the
When can people expect an update, I guess, on the next couple holes that, of course, you're planning to do?
that's a news. I don't want it to be old. Yes,
Got it.
we're gonna be communicating more with shareholders. Definitely, it's been a long time between the last one and this one because I had no other choice. But yes, we will do that. I will let you know, Jason.
Perfect.
The day the news is out, you will see it.
Awesome. Well, anything else you wanted to say before we wrap things up?
One item, and that's very important. We don't fail. This deposit is providing us, and it has shown more strength in the gold mineralization. Two, we have we did the deepest hole so far, but not yet. We're gonna go at it, and we got the money to do it.
Perfect. Wow, that's a great way to end it. Thanks, Farshad. I look forward to doing more of these videos, more frequently over the
Sure.
next couple of weeks.
I am available at any time. Thank you for keeping track of our improvement. And sorry, I was busy. I couldn't do a couple of weeks new videos. I enjoy talking to you.